You can feel it. So, guys, welcome to the February sales month. Okay. If you're looking on the calendar at home, again, our calendar does not follow just a normal regular calendar. We're ahead of the game, right? We are 2 weeks ahead of the game, matter of fact, in most cases. So, our fiscal year starts in mid December. So, we're always a little bit ahead. We just finished week 4. January, put a bow on it. It is done. Ding, ding, ding. Can't do anything to change that, guys. It's a memory. March and everything after that is the future. It's a mystery. February is a gift. That's why we call it the present. So let's do all we can in February. It's another 4-week month, and it is time to get after it because we only get one February each year. So make the most of it. And we only get one today. So guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about salesmanship, about how to be a master of your craft. And I want to really encourage you, if you're not driving, grab a pen and grab your Zoom notebook and get ready to take some really good notes, because hearing this stuff on Zooms is great. Taking notes on it and going back and reviewing those notes for about 10 to 15 minutes the next 4 or 5 nights, that will make it real. That'll make it sink in. So guys, first thing I'll share with you, and you've heard me say it 100 times if you've been on these Zooms, is knowledge breeds confidence. And guys, confidence breeds success. So today we're going to discuss the importance of learning the basics of salesmanship and putting them into action daily in your business. And we're going to talk about two pieces of that. We're going to break it down into 2 different segments: how to and then know how. Okay. Step 1 is how to. So guys, technical knowledge is the foundation of knowing what to do and when to do it and how to do it. Okay. So guys, we've got a wonderful manual. It's called the Success Manual. And towards the back of it is the actual Family Heritage Sales Manual that has the majority of all the basic knowledge that you need to learn by memory. And so guys, first off, I want to talk to you about memorizing. And some of you guys have been in this business now for several months, some of you several years. Okay. And for some of us, we did a great job way back at the beginning of memorizing our sales talk. Remember guys, there's 3 steps to learning your sales talk. There's memorize, which is rote memorization, word for word, awkward phase. You do that for about the first 100 demos. After that, second step is naturalize. That's where you're still using someone else's words, but it becomes more natural. You're pausing for effect. You're using better voice inflection. You're using your hands and you're more extemporaneous, facial expressions, nonverbals. Okay. Then and only then, once you have done memorize and naturalize, do you ever attempt to do any of step 3, which is to personalize. Because guys, if you personalize before you memorize, you can start changing things out that make a big difference, and you may not even realize it. So guys, we're going to talk about memorizing right now, because some of us, regardless of how long we've been doing this, need to go back to phase 1 and hit the reset button and memorize our sales presentation. That alone will double your results. That'll take a lot of you guys from 12 to 14% closing up to 20% almost immediately by using the words, by following the recipe. So selling insurance is a field where it's imperative that you know what you're talking about. Really, you must be able to effectively communicate an idea in a confident manner so the prospect has confidence in what you're saying. Okay. Your confidence is conveyed to the prospect by how you say what you're saying. And guys, we speak with confidence when we know the next word, the next sentence. When we mill and meander and we're trying to come up with the next clever thing to say, that is not confidence. And if you doubt me, record yourself today and listen to a presentation. At this point in time, how could a new person possibly know what words to say? Words that will convey confidence and trust, and what will cause the opposite to happen. Okay. It's for the very same reason that football teams memorize plays. Could you imagine any sports team comprised of a bunch of people doing their own thing? Okay, nothing would ever be accomplished. People would not be in the right place at the right time. So learn the words in your sales presentation word for word, because they're carefully designed to convey both obvious and very subtle sales methods. And at first, guys, it'll sound awkward, okay? But with practice, just like an actor in movies, it'll become part of you and your personality will come through, okay? Remember, guys, in order to succeed at anything new, you got to learn to be teachable, and you got to be willing to suck at it at the beginning a little bit to then get good at it, okay? We don't get to skip over that part. Just like if you go into the U.S. military, you don't get to skip over boot camp and basic training. You don't need to say, I don't want to be a private and a sergeant. I think I'd like the 5-star general role. You got to work your way up. This is one of the ways to be teachable, okay? And these words work. And when used properly, they will help you achieve and succeed in our business. So guys, here's a couple ideas on how to memorize. Because again, a bunch of us do need to go back and review some things, get some extra junk, basically give our sales talk an oil change. Get the bad oil out and put the new fresh oil back in. So couple 6 key steps on how to best memorize. 1, get away by yourself. Eliminate distractions like TV, radio, conversation. You need complete conversation, okay? So get in solitude. Number 2, do everything out loud, okay? By hearing the words, you'll learn them much faster. The subconscious doesn't hear thought. It hears what comes out of your mouth. And remember, your brain moves 10 times faster than your mouth, so you got to get those words coming out of your mouth. Number 3, read a paragraph or several lines out loud 3 times. And then, without looking at the script, try to do it from memory. Then look back at the script, reading it quickly, and then look away to rehearse. Okay? Number 4, continue this process, adding each paragraph as you go until you've completed the section. Okay? We want to block this off in chunks of the sales talk. There's a very specific cycle of sales, and you want to memorize each cycle in order. Number 5, record yourself reciting from memory, and then compare what you hear to what's in the script and make corrections. Guys, every one of us has a fancy phone right now that you can record yourself in and listen to it. Use that technology, okay? Another thing you can do is record yourself doing it perfectly, literally reading it from the script. And then when you're doing everyday mundane tasks like mowing the yard, working out, walking, just little things, you can be listening to yourself doing it perfectly. That speeds up the process quite a bit and allows you to use that time in multiple ways. 6, role play with another person, preferably a team leader or someone who knows the presentation to help you get a better feel for how it actually works. So guys, those are 6 steps on how to memorize, okay? And repeat these steps in order to perfect the performance of your sales presentations, remembering 2 key elements. 1, always talk out loud, and 2, role play with your team leader as much as possible. Okay? So a couple of key points, guys, that will improve you immediately. Getting back to the basics. Take good notes, guys. Be sure to write plenty of notes during sales training and during meetings, okay? In fact, take notes on any new idea that's taught to you, either formally or informally, okay? Yesterday, we were in the Wilmington office, and I looked around, and I saw a lot of people sitting still looking at the coaching that was going on there, especially during the part where we have the hot hands. Guys, we ought to be writing 1,000,000 miles a minute when somebody's speaking in on anything technical in our business. We should never be just sitting idly listening, because that's only going to get about 10% of what we would get if we were actively writing down that we could practice and words that we could practice later. So many good ideas are lost because people trust their memories. And by taking good notes, not only will you have a permanent record, but the process of taking notes will help you to learn new material, okay? Guys, read books written about sales. I would challenge everybody to read at least 10 pages of nonfiction daily, okay? And ideally in the embryonic stages of your career, if you're trying to get better at sales, reading about sales in general. So although sales is a very wide field and anything from A to Z can be sold, the very basic principles of salesmanship have virtually universal application. So therefore, you can read books like How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. Guys, that's a classic. How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. Another one would be The Secret of Closing Sales by Charles Roth. The Secrets of Closing Sales by Charles Roth, a great one. Pick up some key selling ideas from these masters of our profession. Your team leader can also provide you with some other titles of books that can focus in on the art of selling. And remember, guys, selling is that. It's an art. It's not an exact science. Okay? It is an art. And you learn to be a better artist with practice. It's suggested that you begin reading these types of books after getting 2 or 3 months under your belt with the company. Okay? So guys, the second part is know-how. Okay? So you'll learn a tremendous amount about your work from studying what you do, both in and out of class. Okay. However, putting the knowledge into practice is the next step. Okay. So in the classroom or the office, it's a controlled environment. Okay. Whereas on the field, it varies from day to day quite a bit, as you guys have found out. So it's now your task to take the technical knowledge you're acquiring and put it into action. So you're learning the basics, but you've got to learn how to think on your feet. Okay. You got to learn how to, when you walk into a business, look around and spot, where's the area that I could sit down with this person, ideally? Or is this going to be a stand-up demo potentially? Okay. You want to look around for good spots. Rarely will you find two prospects that are the exact same. Circumstances surrounding each and every family will be slightly, if not totally different. So therefore, your work with family heritage will never be the same every day, which is one of the beautiful things about this, is the variety. So you'll learn how to be your own coach by taking your results and comparing them against your stats each day. And by learning how to coach yourself and to be objective, you'll learn valuable lessons that will help you as you rise into leadership of other people. So guys, write this down. You only learn by doing. Okay, so don't be afraid to make mistakes. There's a great book out there by John C. Maxwell called Failing Forward. Failure, guys, is part of it. You can't get get around it. If we're closing 1 out of 6, that means we're failing, 80% of the time, 17 to 20% of the time of the day we're successful. 80 to 84% of the time we're not successful. And that's okay, as long as we learn. As my one of my favorite sales coaches, Sandler, said, I'm blanking on his first name right now, but he says, on every sales call, one of 3 things happen. You either make a sale or you don't make a sale, but you always learn a lesson. David Sandler. You always learn a lesson. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's important to remember that everyone, from the newest person to the best in our business, has to start in the same place that you're starting. Okay, so there's only one way to learn how to do it, and that's by doing it. So observing a team leader, as we call it, follow days. Guys, understand, we have a rule in sales called the 2-day blank rule. Okay, is it adhered to 100% of the time? Absolutely not. In a perfect world, though, it would be. That's the 2-day blank rule. Means that if you go 2 days in a row of honest work and effort and you don't sell something, then you need to be worked with on the 3rd day. It's not a punishment, but there's a really good chance that you're doing something technically off. And if you continue doing that same wrong thing, it doesn't matter how hard you work. Okay, it's like Michael Jordan said, if you have the improper technique, then you can practice 8 hours a day, and all you're going to get good at is doing it the wrong way. Okay, so as Abraham Lincoln once was quoted as saying, you give me 5 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 3 hours sharpening my axe. Guys, getting better, taking a day out of the field oftentimes to go sharpen your axe, to sharpen your skills, can be the difference in going back and now closing 1 out of 5 or even 1 out of 4 versus 1 out of every 6 or 7 or 8. So oftentimes taking that step back is exactly what your business needs, whether you feel like it in the moment or not. So watch your team leader closely as he or she makes presentations. Watch how they relate to people as they make their approach. Watch the prospect's reactions to the words they use. By observing in this manner, you're going to get a feel for how this business is done. And it won't be long until you'll be training someone else that what you know. Okay? So guys, one of the big key factors with this is attitude. I want you to write this in big, bold, ATTITUDE. So perhaps the most important ingredient to your success in this career is your attitude. Peter always taught us there's 3 things that we can control: our habits, our skills, and our attitude. And of those 3 things, attitude is by far the most important. Because you're the inspiration and direction for your work, your mind plays a tremendous part in the success of your efforts. Okay, a great definition of attitude would be an emotional state of mind completely controlled by the individual that creates performance. I'll repeat that for you guys. Great definition of attitude is an emotional state of mind completely controlled by the individual that creates performance. In other words, a person's attitude is determined by the individual and is only controlled by outside forces if the individual allows it. Peter used to always tell us that we can't control what randomly pops into our head any given moment, but we can decide if we choose to marinate on that thought or if we choose to replace it proactively with a better thought. So a positive mental attitude, guys, is having a can-do versus a cannot-do attitude. A person chooses to see good in things instead of the bad. Because guys, guess what? You get what you look for. If you're looking for bad, you're going to find bad. If you're looking for good, you're going to find good. Okay, they're both out there. The key word here is you choose. Okay, what you choose to look for. You have the power to choose how you'll react to things that happen around you. Or you can be as others and seemingly be pushed around by other people and outer influences over which you can't control. Guys, you want to be a thermostat, not a thermometer. You might know the difference. A thermometer just tells you how hot it is or how cold it is. A thermostat controls how hot it is or cold it is. You want to be in control and be a thermostat. The important thing to remember here is that our lives are filled with daily occurrences, but these events are neither good nor they're bad. Okay? We as individuals assign a good or bad label on every event that occurs, and then we live with that designation. Guys, I'm going to touch on one small piece right here before we wrap up today on fear and how fear plays a role in your attitude. Guys, we've all heard that there's several acronyms for fear. Okay, there's false evidence appearing real. Okay, there's forget everything and run. Okay, some people do that. And then there's face everything and rise. That's a great way to approach fear. So sometimes people have fears over what the future may hold. In sales, it happens when you worry about whether they're going to accept you or reject you. You wonder if today will be the day where you have many sales or none at all. Okay. All in all, these are just, they're just 2 things you can control. Again, your attitude and your effort. Okay. Habits and skills falls under effort. Okay. So to put it simply, control the things that you can control. Put your confidence and belief in things which you have the ability to control. Guys, what are things that people fear in this business? People fear rejection. You know, the common denominator talks about it, that people strike at our number one concern. That's our ability to be accepted, to be wanted. So sometimes sales professionals worry about who they'll meet and what these people will say to them. However, instead of thinking about the friendly people they'll meet, they usually dwell on the negative thoughts. Okay, it's important to realize that each person has rights. You have the right to approach anyone with an offer of the services that you render, and your prospective clients have the right either to listen to you or refuse your services. This is America. Okay, what's essential is that you maintain this understanding as you work, because you're going to face it every day. So whenever you meet someone who's impolite or rude to you, less than nice, understand that there's nothing that they could have against you personally. They don't know you. They may be having a bad day, or perhaps They may have had an unpleasant experience with another sales professional from their past, and they're projecting that on you today. Remember, guys, there's more bad salespeople out there than good ones. And so sometimes we become the victim of some bad ones that came before us. That's okay. One of the nice things about our business is that one prospect doesn't make or break your day or your career or even your week. Okay. If they buy, fine. But if not, that's okay too. But one thing is for sure, success will come to those who try and keep on trying with a positive mental attitude. Okay. You'll find plenty of buyers if you'll apply this principle of perseverance. Guys, we're going to talk about fear of failure and 6 steps to overcome it, and then we're going to wrap up here. But along the lines of fear of rejection, there is an overall fear of failure, where people are scared to try because they might not succeed. They may be dwelling on current failures, or they may worry that they might not run into anyone who'll buy on that particular day. Regardless of the reason, most all fear of failure comes from the doubts we have about our ability. And guys, we want to put our faith not in our skills, especially when we're new. We want to put our faith and our stock in our ability to go to work and let the law of large numbers work for us. Okay? We constantly shortchange ourselves when really we can accomplish just about anything if we just set our minds and efforts to it. In reality, we got to remind ourselves that if other people can do it, so can we. So guys, here's 6 steps real quick to overcoming fear. And I'll actually mention these to you guys, but I'm going to dig into them a little bit more on a future Zoom. But one is accept your situation as it is. Step 2 is be willing to fail. Step 3 is make daily preparations. Step 4, live in the present. Step 5 is be a professional. And then step 6 is to do your best. We're going to dig in a little bit more on those 6 the next time we circle back, guys. But I hope that was helpful, guys. Is anybody, before we wrap up, anybody have one takeaway from today that they can implement in their business today to make a difference?
Yeah, man, I think it's great. With the good news, we always talk about positive stuff, but identifying that, hey, we do fail a lot. We get told no a lot. Just keep your attitude straight. Just go on to the next business, get that smile on, and you can control your attitude.
Thanks, Jace.
It's Jeremiah. There's power in perseverance. The ability to just move forward constantly. Never get derailed or sidetracked by the rejection, because it is their God-given right to say yes or no, just like it is ours to approach them.
Absolutely. This is America, guys, and we got the right to leave them, fist bump them, have a great day, leave them in a better mood than we found them in, and move forward to somebody else, guys. Don't get stuck with the attitude vampires, right? Get around people that lift you up, that you want to be around. So guys, we're going to wrap things up here, and we want to make a quick announcement that we are doing something fun. We're going nuts. And we shouldn't be allowed to do this, but we're doing it because Kyle and I, when you have your own agency, you make your own rules. And so, I'm not sure if we're allowed to have Monster Monday on Tuesday or not, but guys, you know what? We're doing it anyway. That's right. It's Monster Tuesday. So guys, Monster Tuesday. The rules are very similar to those on Monster Monday, only we have them on a Tuesday. To qualify, new agents. And a new agent, guys, is anyone who's been here for less than a year or hasn't written an Eagle, okay? And a new agent, 10 plus hours, 8 or more demonstrations, protect at least one family. The benefit to that is a $100 cash bonus. This is going to be a date night bonus, okay? Because if we can change the rules, you're going to take out your honey, you're going to take out your significant other, you're going to have a good time on us. So let that significant other that you're working for them for today for a $100 date night. Now, if you're experienced, guess what? Instead of 10 plus hours, you need to put in 10 plus hours and 8 demos, right? And protect 2 families. not 2 policies to 1 family, 2 families. And you're experienced if you've been here for a year or more, or if you have written an Eagle for your career. Okay. So Jesse, congratulations on writing your first Eagle yesterday in your first week. You're now an experienced agent here in your second week. Welcome to the big time, brother. So guys, it's Monster Tuesday. Let's just clear the decks, guys. It's 8:35. That means if you want to earn this, guys, get out of your car and wrap up your day today at 6:35. There'll be your 10 hours. Talk to 8 people. Show them our product. Give them the opportunity. And you put yourself in 8 closing situations today, guys. You will protect multiple families. So let's go out and have a good time, guys. We've been so very blessed to be here, to stand up, to wake up this morning in a warm home, to have warm food, coffee, all those things that not everybody has. Be thankful for it. And let's go be a blessing for somebody else. God bless, guys.
Go for no. Go for no.
Thanks, man.
Yep. Hey, Damon, you still on?
Yeah.
Damien, number 4. You're asking number 4. That number 4 was to live in the present.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, today's a gift. That's why it's called the present, baby. And we'll dig in on these. We'll dig on these again more next Monday or Tuesday. Okay.
Good deal.
Yeah, man. Have a great day, guys.
Like that saying.
DeMarquise.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How's your morning, man?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be you.
Hey, that's what's up.
Let me see if we can't. I'm just gonna end this meeting and we'll start a new one with just us. Okay.
Okay.
You guys have a great day, guys.